Welcome everyone. Let's take a quick look at the world event this week. Fungal growth. Great name. Everything is measured in spores this week, so the scoring is pretty easy. Each one is worth 5 points. King God Truffle will give you 8 spores, but it's a variable number that rounds out to about 1.18. But you'll always get a minimum of 8. Fundingus is always going to be a minimum of 4 and can drop variable above that. And then Explode Stool will always be 4. And let's see. Fungomancer will always drop 3. And Sir Snothelm will, even though that's a higher rarity, will only drop 2, so don't do Sir Snothelm if you don't have to. And you can, if you have multiple of the same one on the board, pick the easiest one because you're going to get the same amount of spores either way. And the medal we have this week is the Mushroom Medal. I've bought the first 3 tiers and have enough from rewards to get 1 full medal, and it's 160% spell damage. And everything that we have to choose from is red this week. So, red, and it has to be an elemental. This is my early team. It's probably going to stay my team all week, except I'll probably switch Summer's Fury out for Secrets of the Crypt later on, most likely. Using Sunspear, it's best to use a class that has a constant firestorm, and it also starts with Entangle if you're doing it, if you have it set up correctly. Phoenicia, which does damage to all enemies, boosted by red gems and burning enemies. Firestorm, double damage. And Infernus is there for the burn on everybody on a 4-5 match. And he also can do quite a bit of damage in this, and will create mana for you after casting. Miraji Queen is basically just here for a 50% start at battles for all elementals, which is everybody except your hero. And let's see, if you're having trouble and you don't have Sunspear with the 3rd trait on it yet, you could use something like Slayer. You could use War Priest, and War Priest will give you a 40% skull reduction as well, which would not be bad. So let's take a look at some of the important troops to keep an eye out if you don't have, this kind of build. Hopefully you do have Miraji Queen. You can pull that through Sunken Fleet with Chaos Shards. Another one you could look out for if you is Garuda. Summons a Firestorm if you don't have a class traded up yet for that. Deals 38 damage to all enemies. It's nice to have the all enemies part on that. Infernus, of course. Gloomleaf is an interesting one as well. You could steal 32 armor and 5 attack from all enemies. If you put him in front, he'll reflect 50% of skull damage. I don't recommend it, but it's an interesting thought. I tried Imp of Love earlier just for the fact that he gains 8 magic on red gem matches, but he only does some scatter damage and charms a random enemy. Not great. Ironbark here does have some skull reduction, but I would not put that in front. If you don't have a troop with 50% skull reduction, other than Lava Elemental, wouldn't be too bad. Get yourself some burning somewhere and deal double skull damage versus burning enemies. I do realize it's 160% spell damage, but sometimes you gotta take what you can get. And let's see. Shegra, seeing how it's a spell damage thing, no. Sunbird might be an interesting one because it does scatter damage boosted by my life on a 1-to-1 ratio and will die and rise from the ashes, but it always does return with less HP and armor, but certainly wouldn't be bad. I mean, if you've got a couple of these, I wouldn't say you're in terrible shape. As far as weapons, boy, you've got a ton of weapons that you can look at. A couple that I'll point out. Oh, sure, you could always use Dawnbringer. I wouldn't really suggest it. If you're having trouble staying alive and you do have Chalice of Eyes, it can give life to all allies and summon an all-seeing eye troop. I know some people are using Doomed Crossbow with a team very similar to this. I'm trying to stay away from, any Doom Skulls this week. Earth's Fury would be nice. And Flesh Ripper might not be too bad. And Hope's Crescent. Farther on down the road, if you do have Hope's Crescent, eliminate all armor from an enemy and deals triple damage if the enemy's life is greater. So once you've gotten up there quite a bit in level, not too bad. And if you've got a full medal, that's going to do a whole bunch of damage. It's only to one person, and newer players, definitely I wouldn't have a problem putting Mang in front and maybe using War Priest with 40% skull reduction. And this is what I'm going to switch to later, most likely. Secrets of the Crypt, steal 37 life from the 2 weakest enemies, summon a random undead. I'm not too worried about the summon part, but with the medal, you're gonna, I believe, you can steal more life with that. So put that up front, maybe have 40% skull reduction with War Priest. Yeah, gonna be doing pretty well. And if I'm wrong about it stealing more life based upon the spell amount, then I do apologize. I have not tested that, but I think it's true. And, even Vine Whip would not be too bad. You can cast that on the first enemy and entangle them, so at least you're not getting hit by skull damage for a while if you don't have Sun Spear, leveled up far enough. And might be okay later on as well. Deals damage to an enemy boosted by their attack on a 1-to-1 ratio. Not bad. So that's kind of what I have for you this week. Some troops and weapons to look out for. And I will catch you later. Have a great one. Bye-bye.